The revolving door of the central forum spins in slow motion. Each movement echoes like a metronome on the icy marble. Dr. Mauricio Santana steps firmly, the sole of his Italian shoe against the floor, reflecting fluorescent lights like reflecting pools. His Hermes leather briefcase sways to the rhythm of his walk, 3 decades of his career condensed into the documents inside. The air conditioning blows an artificial breeze that makes his silk tie flutter slightly. Around him, white lawyers chat in groups, laughter echoing off the Greek columns. Their suits are nice, but not like his. Their briefcases are expensive, but not like his. The difference? They go unnoticed. He never goes unnoticed. Hey there. Corporal Torres emerges as a human barrier. His blue uniform is impeccable, his badge gleaming, his hand already on his waist, where his baton rests. His eyes scan the tailored suit, the Rolex watch, and his posture too erect for someone of that type. Document, and your hands where I can see them. 20 meters away, Attorney Peterson walks by carrying a duffel bag. No one stops him. Judge Carla Martinez enters with an oversized bag. No search. Intern Connor runs in late, sweaty, tieless. The door is open. Mauricio observes the selectivity of security working in real time. 42 years. Harvard Law Review. Federal judge for 12 years. And I still need to prove I exist. A memory flashes back. His mother, Dona Conceição, pressing his first suit at 5 a.m. before leaving to clean offices downtown. Son, she said, steam from the iron rising between them. They're going to test your dignity every single day. But you're not there to prove anything to anyone. You're there because you deserve to be. The weight of the briefcase in his left hand, the weight of history on his shoulders, the weight of being the first in his family to step onto that ground as an equal, not a servant. Of course, officer. The voice is calm, almost cordial. Mauricio delivers the official document without haste, without fear, without the anger Torres expected to find. Torres takes the paper, frowns, reads it once, rereads it. Dr. Mauricio Santana de Oliveira, federal judge, First Criminal Court. The photo matches. The name matches. But something in his brain refuses to process the information. Judge, you? Because for some, justice still has color, and his was never the right one. The document flutters in Torres's hand like a dry leaf in the wind. His eyelids blink 3 times in a row. His brain trying to process information that defies its internal programming. Dr. Mauricio watches the confusion unfold on the officer's face, each wrinkle of disbelief carved in real time. The lobby continues its morning ballet. High heels click on the marble. Voices echo through the columns. But around the two of them, a tense bubble of silence forms, as if the air itself awaits a resolution. Mauricio adjusts the cuffs of his shirt, a minimal gesture, but one filled with silent sovereignty. Judge, you? The question escaped Torres's mouth like an involuntary confession. His eyes took another inventory: dark skin, negroid features, short-cropped hair. Then they returned to the official document. The math didn't add up in his conditioned mind. He holds the paper up to the light, as if checking for signs of forgery, as if the mere possibility of a black man occupying the top of the judicial hierarchy were an elaborate joke. A tacky trick. Is this really okay? How many towers have I faced? The question echoes in Mauricio's mind like a familiar mantra. How many looks of disbelief? How many extra validations? How many double tests? A memory emerges like a faded photograph. Him at 17, on the first day of classes at Harvard. The same look. The same unspoken question. Are you sure you belong here? Grandpa Benedito's voice resonates from the past like an ancestral blessing. My son, when they doubt you, don't shout, don't explain, simply continue existing. Your presence will be more disturbing than 1,000 speeches. Mauricio breathes slowly. The cold oxygen from the air conditioning fills his lungs, but inside, his blood flows as hot as lava. A legacy of someone born to resist. That's right, officer. The answer comes slowly, each syllable weighted like a judge's gavel. Mauricio doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't gesture. He doesn't justify himself. He simply asserts his existence with the calmness of someone who knows their own worth. Torres swallows hard. Around him, some conversations fade. Curious glances begin to turn toward the pair. Lawyer Martinez stops walking and observes the scene with growing interest. At that moment, receptionist Lucia, a middle-aged black woman, looks up from her desk. She recognizes Mauricio. A barely perceptible smile plays on her lips. She says nothing, but her gaze carries a silent message. I see you. I recognize you. Because the greatest violence is not denying the document, it is denying the possibility. The courthouse lobby transforms into an involuntary amphitheater. Conversations quieten to whispers. Footsteps slow, become more cautious. Lawyers Silva and Carvalho approach, pretending to search for something in their briefcase, but with their ears open. Intern Fernanda stops typing on her cell phone. Even security guard Wellington, stationed at the entrance, discreetly turns his head. Mauricio feels the weight of dozens of eyes. The fluorescent ceiling light seems more intense now, as if an invisible spotlight isolates him at center stage. His shadow is projected onto the polished floor, the only dark figure in a sea of white reflections. Torres still holds the document, his arms suspended in the air as if holding evidence of a crime. Judge like that. Torres lets out a short, dry laugh. Tell me another one. The sentence echoes through the columns like a starting gun. Suddenly, everyone feels empowered to pass judgment. Lawyer Silva whispers something to his colleague, and they both smile. Secretary Patricia lowers her glasses and observes Mauricio like an exotic species in a zoo. No one intervenes. No one questions. Silence becomes collective complicity. Receptionist. Lucia lowers her eyes, pretending to organize papers. She knows. She recognizes, but her voice remains stuck in her throat, choked with the fear of becoming the next target. This silence, I know. Mauricio feels a familiar pain spreading through his chest. Not physical, but ancestral. The pain of someone who carries generations of imposed silences, of stifled voices, of questioned existences. Remember Uncle Severino, the first in his family to work in a bank? He'd come home every day with that same tired expression. They spend the whole day testing me, Mauricio, as if I were an intruder in my own life. Great-grandmother Antonia's voice echoes like a guarded prayer. My grandson, when the whole world turns its back on you, you look in the mirror and remember who you are. They may doubt your ability, but never let them doubt your dignity. A lump threatens to form in his throat, but Mauricio swallows hard. 30 years of experience have taught him. Showing weakness is giving ammunition to the enemy. Soon he'll say he's an astronaut too, Lawyer Silva teases, drawing muffled laughter from the small audience. Mauricio doesn't take his eyes off Torres. His voice is low, controlled, but charged with authority that comes from within. I'm Mauricio Santana. I've been a federal judge of the First Criminal Court for 12 years. And you, officer, do you have a name? The question resonates like a silent whiplash. Torres chokes, realizing he's lost control of the narrative. From the elevator, Dr. Amanda Rice, a federal prosecutor, emerges. She recognizes Mauricio from afar and frowns, confused by the scene. Her steps quicken, more determined. The dynamic is about to change. When the audience becomes the court, the victim must become his own lawyer. Time freezes for an instant. The noises of the forum dissolve like distant echoes. Mauricio closes his eyes for 2 seconds, long enough for the memory to come back. The transport 25 years into the past, a small 2-room house on the outskirts of Salvador. Yellowish lamplight dances on the peeling walls. A 17-year-old boy leans over books stacked on a worn wooden table. Mauricio, a teenager, his white shirt already yellowed with age, a Bic pen trembling between his fingers. The smell of laundry detergent mixed with strong coffee hung in the humid early morning air. Outside, the rain drummed on the brazilite tile roof with a hypnotic rhythm. In the flashback, Dona Conceição arrives from her 3rd cleaning of the day. Her hands are dry from the cleaning product, her back bent from the weight of the buckets. She stops at the door and watches her son studying. Mauricio, son, it's already past midnight. The boy lifts his head. His eyes are red with exhaustion, but determined as embers. Mom, tomorrow is the university scholarship test. If I pass, our lives will change. Conceição approaches and kisses her son's forehead. Her tears drip onto his notebook. Salty drops on constitutional law formulas. If you don't pass, our lives have still changed, because you're dreaming. Back to the present, Mauricio opens his eyes. The courthouse lobby comes back into focus, but now he carries with him the weight of that night. Every book read, every hour of sleep sacrificed, every no he had to transform into fuel. His mother's voice echoes through the years like an eternal blessing. Son, they will try to make you believe that you don't deserve to be where you are. But when that happens, remember me doing laundry at dawn to pay for your books. Remember that you didn't get here by luck. You got here by earned right. Flashback dentro to flashback. Grandpa Benedito, already old, sitting on the porch. My grandson, one day you will wear a suit and tie. And when that happens, some will think you are in costume, but you will know that you are wearing the clothes that have always been yours by right. In the present, Torres is still waiting for a response. Mauricio finally speaks, his voice heavy with history. Torres, right? I've been a federal judge for 12 years. I graduated from Harvard and specialized in criminal law at the Sorbonne. My employee ID is 0847. Each word comes out slowly, measuredly. It's not arrogance. It's an inventory of a life built brick by brick. Torres swallows hard. The document in his hands now weighs like lead. Dr. Amanda Race steps closer, recognizing Mauricio's voice even before she sees him clearly. Her expression changes from curiosity to concern as she realizes the situation, because each of his achievements cost twice as much, half for merit, half to prove he deserved it. Torres's face contorts like a melting mask. Mauricio's words, Harvard, Sorbonne, 12 years of magistracy, rebound in his mind, but meet resistance. His right hand clenches into an involuntary fist. His official ID card dangles between the trembling fingers of his left. The lobby seems suspended in a time bubble. The air conditioning still blows, but the cold is different now, biting, electric. The onlookers form an instinctive semicircle, like spectators of an accident about to happen. Torres takes 2 steps forward. His bloodshot eyes fix on Mauricio like a cornered predator. Lie! The word explodes from Torres's throat like an uncontrolled gunshot. Nothing like a judge. You're just another one of those bums who makes up titles to embarrass themselves. His voice rises 2 notches, echoing through the forum columns like an off-key siren. Saliva collects in the corners of his mouth. The uniform that once symbolized authority now looks like an ill-fitting costume on a body gripped by hysteria. Have you ever seen a black man in a suit pretending to be a doctor? Who do you think you're fooling? Lawyer Silva whispers to his colleague, I think he overreacted, but neither of them intervenes. Secretary Patricia puts her hand to her chest, shocked, but also remains silent. Receptionist Lucia averts her eyes, as if witnessing a lynching and feeling powerless to stop it. A volcanic rage rises in Mauricio's stomach, burning his throat and chest. It's not just the anger of the moment. It's the accumulated rage of decades. From all the times he's had to prove his humanity, from all the spaces where his presence has been questioned, from all the achievements diminished by the color of his skin. But then, great-grandmother Antonia's voice echoes like an ancestral mantra. Son, when their hatred screams, your dignity must whisper louder. Mauricio closes his eyes for a second, breathes, counts to 3. The anger doesn't disappear, but it transforms. It becomes controlled fuel, directed power. You don't let their ignorance awaken violence in you, the mother's voice adds. Your victory is not in fighting back. It's in continuing to be who you are. Criminal! Torres screams the word like a death sentence. His hand rises in the air, tense, laden with centuries of oppression condensed into a primitive gesture. The sound of the slap echoes through the hall like thunder in a cathedral. The noise echoes off the columns, the walls, and the hearts of those watching. Some people let out muffled gasps of shock. Intern Fernanda brings her hands to her face. Security guard Wellington takes a step forward, but hesitates. Mauricio doesn't move. He doesn't back away. He doesn't scream. A red mark forms on his right cheek, but his eyes remain fixed on Torres's. Dr. Amanda Race, who until then had been approaching curiously, now runs toward the scene. Her high heels click on the marble like machine guns. My God, what's going on here? In that deadly silence, the uniform lost its right to represent the law. The echo of the slap still vibrates in the air as Amanda Rice's heels strike the lobby like machine guns fired against the silence. Her briefcase swings violently as she runs, her blonde hair fluttering like a war flag. Onlookers instinctively step aside, making way for the approaching storm. Torres still holds his hand suspended in midair, like a sculpture frozen in the exact moment of the crime. His fingers tremble slightly, not from fear, but from the adrenaline of someone who has just crossed an irreversible line. Mauricio remains motionless. The red mark on his cheek contrasts with the icy serenity of his face. Only his eyes move, following the prosecutor's approach. "Dr. Mauricio!" Amanda shouts before even getting close. "Doctor, are you okay?" The word doctor echoes through the lobby like a well-aimed shot. It cuts through the air. It ruptures the narrative. It redefines the entire scene. Torres freezes. His face goes from red with rage to white with terror in slow motion. His eyes widen in a belated, devastating realization. He didn't assault a random suspect. He assaulted a federal magistrate. Lawyer Silva stops laughing. Secretary Patricia covers her mouth. Intern Fernanda lets out a barely audible, "Oh my God." Security guard Wellington approaches, finally reacting, but cautiously, as if he's grasping the gravity of the situation. A wave of validation washes over Mauricio like a warm tide. It's not relief, it's recognition. Someone saw him. Someone called him by the name he earned, by the title he carries with dignity. Grandpa Benedito's voice whispers from the past. "My grandson, sometimes you will feel invisible in this world, but someone will always come along who truly sees you. And when that happens, you will remember that you were never alone." Mauricio feels the weight of his ancestors on his shoulders, not as a burden, but as invisible armor. Every generation that came before him, every sacrifice, every dream interrupted, now materializes in this moment of recognition. Amanda stops next to Mauricio, panting. "Doctor, what happened here? Why did this police officer attack you?" Torres stammered, his voice choked. I didn't know. I thought he—" "That he what?" Amanda cuts in, voice razor sharp. "I thought he was what, exactly?" The silence that follows is as thick as molten lead. Torres can't formulate a response that doesn't further incriminate himself. Receptionist Lucia finally looks up. She rises from her chair slowly, as if waking from a nightmare. Her voice is low but clear. "Dr. Mauricio has been a judge here for 12 years. We all know that. Now it's too late for Torres to pretend ignorance. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice to turn a lynching into a trial." Mauricio takes a step forward. Just one. But this single movement transforms the entire geometry of the lobby. His spine straightens like a ship's mast. His shoulders broaden. His chin lifts at an angle his ancestors would recognize as a silent declaration of war. The fluorescent light from the ceiling seems to converge on him, creating an almost theatrical aura. His voice, when it finally breaks the silence, echoes off the marble columns with the authority of someone who has spent a lifetime transforming words into sentences. Torres instinctively recoils. His fingers tremble as he holds the document, which now burns in his hands like a live coal. "Social, identify yourself, officer." The words come out slowly, each syllable weighing a ton. Mauricio doesn't shout. He doesn't gesture. His strength comes from controlled silence, from anger transformed into judicial power. "Your full name, registration number, and explain to me why you just attacked a federal judge in the exercise of his duties." Torres stammers, sweat dripping down his forehead. "Doctor, it was a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" Mauricio tilts his head slightly. "Is calling a federal judge a criminal a misunderstanding?" Is slapping a magistrate in the face a misunderstanding? The entire lobby holds its breath. Amanda Race pulls out her cell phone and starts filming. Receptionist Lucia quickly jots something down. Security guard Wellington positions himself strategically, but this time to protect Mauricio, not restrain him. This is the time. Mauricio feels the weight of generations in his voice. It's not just him speaking. It's every ancestor who was silenced, every grandfather who bowed their head, every great-grandmother who swallowed humiliation to survive. His mother's voice echoes like a blessing. Son, when your time comes to speak, speak for all of us who have had to remain silent. The blood running through your veins carries stories of resistance. Every word that comes out of your mouth is a small historical reparation. Torres license plate 4487. He finally stammers. Very well, Torres 4487. Your assault will be registered as bodily harm against a magistrate, qualified racial injury, abuse of authority, and unlawful coercion. Mauricio pauses dramatically, looking directly into the police officer's eyes. Each of these acts is a crime. Each crime will have its due investigation. Each investigation will reach its final consequences. Amanda whispers to the intern. He's giving a real-time criminal law class. Mauricio then addresses the silent audience, and you, who watched in silence. Remember, today's silence becomes tomorrow's impunity. A glass of water falls to the floor, shattering. The noise echoes like a final punctuation. And what would you have done in this situation? Leave your comments. At that moment, the gavel of justice struck silently, but everyone heard it. The elevator at the end of the lobby emits adding soft, but echoing like a cathedral bell in the deathly silence. The doors open slowly, revealing an imposing figure. Dr. Roberto Almeida, president of the court. In a charcoal gray suit, briefcase in hand, with a grave expression as if he had already been informed of what had happened. His steps are measured, firm. Each footfall on the marble resonates like a countdown. The onlookers automatically move away, creating a corridor between him and the scene of the conflict. Even the air conditioning seems to dim in deference to the approaching authority. Torres feels the weight of the presidential gaze before he even sees it. His body trembles like a dry leaf. Dr. Mauricio. Almeida's voice cuts through the air like a surgical blade. I received an urgent call about an incident involving you. The president stops 3 meters away, observing the scene with eyes that have seen decades of injustice. His gaze travels over the red mark on Mauricio's face, then settles on Torres with the coldness of a judge about to deliver a sentence. Officer Torres, were you the one who physically assaulted a federal magistrate inside this courthouse? The question echoes like a well-aimed shot. Torres opens and closes his mouth like a fish out of water. Around him, the atmosphere changes completely. Those who were previously laughing now lower their heads. Lawyer Silva discreetly moves away. Secretary Patricia pretends to organize papers. The very light in the room seems to change, as if even the spotlights recognize the gravity of the moment. Mauricio feels a wave of validation wash over him like a warm tide. It's not revenge he feels. It's the recognition that the system, when it works, can protect even those who have historically been excluded from it. Grandpa Benedito's voice echoes like a fulfilled prophecy. One day, my grandson, you will be on the right side of the law. And when that happens, the law itself will protect you. A memory comes to mind. His inauguration ceremony as a judge, 12 years ago. Dona Conceição's trembling hand touches his new robe. Son, now you're not just representing yourself, you're representing all of us who never had a voice. President, Torres stammers, it was a misunderstanding. I didn't know. Didn't know what? Almeida interrupts with icy authority. That a black man can be a judge, that the justice system has professionals of all colors. Or didn't you know that assaulting a judge is a non-bailable offense? The silence that follows is sepulchral. Your gun and your badge. Now. The words sound like a final sentence. Torres, with trembling hands, removes the pistol from its holster and the badge from his chest. The objects clang as they are placed on the reception desk. Some employees begin to clap discreetly. Receptionist Lucia smiles for the first time. A young black intern, who had been watching from afar, approaches with admiration in his eyes. And you? How many times have you seen justice actually working? Share if you believe everyone deserves respect, regardless of race. At that moment, the scales of justice didn't weigh color, they weighed dignity. An hour later, Mauricio pushes through the courthouse's revolving door for the second time that day. But this time it's different. His footsteps echo with a different cadence, not of someone needing to prove they belong, but of someone who has just reaffirmed their place in the world. The afternoon sun bathes the golden marble staircase. Outside, a group of children waits for the school bus. Among them, a black boy of about 8 clutches a children's law book to his chest, his eyes wide with wonder as he watches Mauricio descend the steps. The red mark on her cheek has already begun to fade, but it remains a silent medal of resistance. "Mommy, look!" The boy points to Mauricio with innocent enthusiasm. "He's a real judge." The child's mother, Mrs. Carla, smiles with tears in her eyes. She recognizes the symbolism of the moment. Her son is seeing possibilities where previous generations only saw barriers. "Yes, my love, he is a real judge." Mauricio stops and looks at the boy. For a second, he sees himself at 8 years old, dreaming of professions that seemed impossible for someone of his color, from his neighborhood, from his background. We've come this far. The thought crosses Mauricio's mind like an ancestral blessing. It's not just him who has won. It's all the generations that came before, all the interrupted dreams that now find continuity in this moment. Great-grandmother Antonia's voice echoes like an answered prayer. "One day, my great-grandson, you will walk with your head held high along paths that our ancestors paved with blood and sweat. And when that happens, remember that you are not walking alone." Mauricio feels the simultaneous weight and lightness of responsibility, being a bridge between the past of struggle and the future of possibilities. The boy approaches, still holding the book. "Sir, how do you become a judge?" Mauricio crouches down, getting to the child's eye level. "Studying hard, believing in yourself, and never letting anyone tell you that you can't be what you want to be." "Even though he's like us?" The boy asks with heartbreaking innocence. "Especially being like us." Mauricio takes a business card out of his pocket and hands it to the boy. "Keep this, and when you become a judge, come find me. Let's work together." The boy's eyes shine like stars. He guards the card like a sacred treasure. As he walks away, Mauricio hears the child saying to his mother, "Mommy, I'm going to be a judge too." If this story touched your heart, share it. May other children see that their dreams are possible. Subscribe to the channel. We still have many stories of resilience and achievement to tell. True justice is not blind. It sees with the eyes of those who have never been afraid to exist.